So what is the answer to that? Tell me. We are all connected. If one element changes, it will influence what? Others. It may not influence at the speed that you want it to be or the extent to which you want it to be, but the nature of the world is such that it is in a constant flux and you're a participant. And the minute the quality of your participation changes, it has to change what? The others also. So it's a dynamic world. It's not a fixed, stable world. And what we need to focus on is what? Our contribution and our growth, rather than sit and complain about how everybody else is not who they are, right? So this is what we call neuron pathways. And the last, so the cities and the communities that we build, it's all also through a lot of interconnection, and now everybody knows that because of internet, right? When I was a student and I was studying in the US, and I was watching, this was long ago. So even though he was saying while introducing me, seemingly young, I'm not as young as I may look like. So that was many years ago. And what I saw, they were talking about what they call information highway. And what was this idea of information highway? What it meant is that the information, if it is produced in one part of the world, the rest of the world will get it almost instantaneously. So at that time, I would that time even the phone, there was no mobile, there was nothing, there was no internet. I said, how is it going to be possible that we are going to live in a world where information is going to be available almost simultaneously all across without any time lag? And then we are living in the same world right now. So that means the societies that, I have seen within my birth, how many changes have taken place. I remember the people were dancing in the street because the TV started in India in 70s. Right? And now where have we come? Right? So that means this interconnectedness is something that we have built civilizations which are actually furthering our interconnectedness. And that is a powerful thing. Why is it a power? It can either lead to a huge waste or it can be extremely powerful. So many of the students that studied with Swamiji, when I meet them, so I ask him, so how's the studies going? So he says, I'm teaching over internet. I have a student in USA and I have a student in Spain. So I said, wow, you go there? They said, no, only internet. So that means the knowledge can pass so much faster and it can reach humanity so much quicker. So that means this interconnectedness is an empowering thing, right? So don't always complain that, oh, this technology, oh, this, oh, that. Hey, it's a wonderful thing. It's an opportunity if you learn to use it well. Okay. The planets, right? The whole solar system and our planet and its connection to the sun, to the moon, to all the other planets. So this interconnectedness, and we are all part of one thing that leads to what? I will just, the next slide. Okay. So now, if you look at this is a very nice visual of our interconnectedness through series of laws. Which are the laws which connect us all? It starts with what? Atom, at atomic level, so many atoms have to connect to each other to make one body. Then what? At the cellular level. Then the connection is at what? Each entity is connected to other through physical laws, to biological laws, to anatomical laws, epistemological laws. So that means we are all within this grand scheme of things, which is very intelligent. Now, as I just gave you the glances, that in addition to these amazing laws, there are two laws which are very critical, which enable us to live with meaning and purpose. and that is what we call law of karma and law of dharma. So that means what you need to understand is that the minute you make an action, then what happens? It has a reaction. And how far does the reaction go? It may seem like, oh, what is this action? But actually, it can go what? Yeah, absolutely. Because everything is connected in such intricate ways. So that means that gives you a certain kind of empowerment. You don't keep telling yourself, oh, what difference does it make if I change? What difference does it make? That vocabulary goes away. Helpless vocabulary goes away. Proactive vocabulary begins to walk in. You're here for a purpose, and you have roles to play. And when you have roles to play, and whatever you do, whether now or for later, it leaves its impact. It leaves its imprint in the universe. You have changed the world forever. It cannot be the same anymore as a result of your action. Okay, so this is an empowering thing. Please don't use karma and dharma as, everything is a destiny. Oh, what do I have to do? This is not at all. The vision of Vedas is a very dynamic vision, and saying be a responsible participant. And as you begin to be a responsible participant, what happens? The feedback, the law of dharma is connected to law of karma. Karma means there are consequences for that action. You improve that little world within your sphere of influence, right? And then you are also part of the world. You also benefit in return. So that means everything is converted into any good action is not only for benefiting others, it also benefits me. It is connected to your enlightened self-interest. So that is what is the outcome of this understanding of this whole. Now the next slide. What it practically means is what in Vedanta we talk about Swadharma. Swadharma means it understands your interconnectedness, and it says you as a human being, you're connected to your parents, you're connected to your wife, you're connected to your kids, you're connected to your nation, you're connected to your community, you're connected to the whole world, the whole humanity. This connection is a reality. So generally, we define our lives with only what, as long as I protect my kids and my family, it's wonderful. But even that we don't do a very good job. So that means what here is, if you really understand this vision of oneness, what you understand is every role that you play, it has to be played with a certain amount of, exactly, with certain duties that go with it, certain responsibilities. And there is a challenge that you may face in every role that you play, but when you face the challenge, what is going to be your outlook, or what is going to be the course of your excellent. So that means one lady, I just want to tell you, well, how much time do I have? I still have a little time? Yes. Okay, great. Okay. So I went to, these are very typical questions, right? Maybe Swamiji was thinking of doing it at the time of the myth, but I will just tell you. So I had gone for a seminar in Dubai, and she told me, she says, I've tried really hard to improve my relationship with my son, but he just doesn't like me. So is it all karma? So what does she mean by that? It's destiny, and it is unchangeable. Is it true? No, not at all. So that means, maybe there is some past patterns within this life or past life, we don't know. But what is your attempt? Your attempt is always to see what can I do to do what I have to do, and engage in finding creative ways to solve a problem. So that means your whole focus becomes what is my duty and responsibility, and how to engage creatively and intelligently to solve a problem that is in front of me. Whether it finally gets solved or not is not totally in my hand, but what is the purpose of life? To keep working at it. So that means there is this helplessness gives away and creativity begins to come out. That is a wonderful way to live. So that is what we call, in every role that you play there will be a challenge, but the focus is on how to overcome challenges rather than being bogged down by that. When that happens, what will happen is what we call that when we role play, generally what happens is there is a spillover. What is a spillover? What it means is, suppose you had a bad day at work and your boss you thought was a little rude to you. So where is the problem? In which role? In your boss and the subordinate role. You come home and you start shouting at your kids. So what is this problem? Spillover. Spillover is the problem belongs at one place and you start there, you are not able to do anything. You're not working at solving it, but you take it out somewhere else. So all these things begin to drop because you begin to understand, hey, if I have a problem with my boss, let me resolve it. Work towards an intelligent resolution. Come up with certain ideas that you have to intelligently resolve it, and not be passive there and be aggressive somewhere else. So that this is what we call life of growth, life of maturity. Because all this, the straightening out of your thought processes is absolutely required before you understand this bigger picture, which is what all that is here is I. That is a big picture. But if you're struggling with these small things, then how are you going to understand this big picture? It's impossible. So that is what we call this growth within the vision of oneness. Now, just what is the next slide? Okay, after Swadharma, I do want to leave, what is till what time? So I have to leave about 15 minutes. That's why. So that means I'll finish quickly so you'll have an opportunity to ask me any questions if you have. So in sum, suppose you live like that with the vision of oneness, understanding your connection with everything else, doing your actions properly, understanding your connection not only with your family but with a larger world, and meeting the challenges with each role appropriately without spilling over. Imagine if you begin to live your life like that. You'll be empowered. So that means, what are the consequences of living a life like that? Because so many of us have this whole feeling of isolation. You feel isolated from the world. You feel small. You feel not loved. Very often we give ourselves a message, I'm not appreciated, I'm not loved. So that isolation will go away, and it will what? Make you see your intimate connection to everything. That's a very significant mindset change. So that means from isolation to connection, from dissatisfaction. Because you ask the most successful person who you think is the most successful person in this world, and ask that person, did everything happen according to how you wished? What will that person say? No. So that means the fact is because why? The laws don't operate to please you. Suppose we are so silly at times. Suppose this I love these glasses, right? And I drop it by mistake, and I don't want to lose it. So I'll pray, oh my God, I hope they don't They don't fall. Now, can the laws of gravity stop to prevent your glass from falling? No, because if they do, what will happen? The Earth will collide with with the next planet there. So please understand.